Joining us now, patiently waiting through all this toilet talk, is Toby Voigt of the Michigan History Center, checking him via Zoom. Hey, Toby, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Good. We can hear you really good. See, I like that picture. Is that a picture? I can't quite see the top of it. Is that downtown Detroit or what is that? Oh
Why, it sure
yeah,
is.
yeah, that's great. That your
Yep.
plant, your sunflowers back there. We need that because it's going to snow if it's not snowing already right now.
Oh, it's snowing here in Lansing right now.
So Toby is with the Michigan History Center, and Toby, I got a full description here, but just why don't you make it easy on an old interviewer? What the heck are you doing on our show today? What are we talking about?
Okay, well, I'm glad to talk about it. So, I'm the Community Engagement Director for the Michigan History Center, and we are the state of Michigan's museum and archive system. So, we actually run 12 museums across the whole state of Michigan, plus the Archives of Michigan. And when this all started happening, we were, being the history experts for the state, we were getting phone calls of people asking us, how did the COVID-19 emergency uh, relate to the 1918 influenza epidemic? And so we do what we do when we are in a museum. We went and looked in our collections. What did we have from that time period? And besides some government records, which is natural, the archives is the repository for state government records, we didn't have very much. And we thought, gosh, we don't really know what was going on in the lives of people in Michigan in 1918. And so as the organization that preserves history, we knew that we wanted to start something now for this pandemic, so future generations would have a rich collection of images and words and objects to
We're going
really
to
be
go
able
into the museum 50 years from now, and there's going to be an exhibit on Zoom meetings. I can see it right now.
to. I know, and everybody's going to laugh at how quaint and antiquated that technology
Oh
was. That's
man, yeah.
literally saving our lives right
Yeah,
now.
oh, that's how they had to do that Zoom meeting way back then. So you're collecting the stories of how we're surviving this terrible crisis. I'm sure you're collecting some of the tragedy, but also hopefully some of the positive stories as well. Are you wanting to connect with individual Michiganders to get their stories? Or how's this working?
Yes, absolutely. I think, one of the things that we try to do is capture the stories of everybody's perspectives in Michigan, all the diverse perspectives. So we're starting out, our project is actually three phases, more or less, mainly because we can't be collecting the stuff of history right now. We're all working from our homes. So but we didn't want to wait to start this. We wanted to be able to capture people's stuff right as it was happening right now. So we launched an online collecting website where people can submit their photographs or short videos or audio files of what they're experiencing right now. And we launched that last Friday, I believe. So it's been a week. And
I can make your job a
so
lot easier for you. All you really need to do is just, I'll send you a copy of today's megacast, upload that, and you got the whole picture right there.
absolutely. I was so fascinated by listening to your last guest with talking about the banking situation. Really interesting stuff. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that we want to capture. So please, if you guys want to submit your recordings, we'll be glad to archive that.
We we
So
we
people
would be
can.
we would be glad. I was just kidding, but we would be glad to. There's an awful lot there. We talked to a lot of people that, and just some of the amazing heroic stories too. These kids that have set up a website to help other kids deal with the emotional aspects of this whole thing, and it's called Quarantine. I mean, how cool is that?
Oh,
Organizations of immigrants putting together face masks for people. I mean, people delivering food, first responders, medical workers. There's so many great stories. Toby Voigt from the Michigan History Center. I don't even know where you start.
yeah, that's exactly it. So we're starting with just collecting the stuff. And you make a really good point. And I talk a lot to folks who are in the news media, who are on the front lines like you, talking to the people who are making the history. So it's just natural that we be partners. Now I'm pitching. Please submit your newscast for
All
us.
right. Hey, Toby, is there going to be a new normal where we can get back in our museums here in Michigan and have any thoughts about, are you working on a plan yet, or is it premature?
We always have to think about thinking about what we're going to do to move forward, to do what we do, and that is to serve the public. And it's a little too early for us to know, for any of us to know when. we can get back into the museum. But, we know what will happen, and we're really taking some time now to think about, museums have always been places you have to physically go to, and there's some barriers to going there. Sometimes they're a little intimidating. You think you have to be quiet. Well, if anything, this is helping us as a staff realize we are so much more than just the physical building, that we could be sharing great stories of the past and the present and making those connections using great tools like Zoom or our website. So in the short term, this has been very interesting for our staff to kind of embrace new ways of sharing all of the great resources, information we have that aren't tied to the building.
All right, well,
I think that's good.
Get to work on that little R2D2 hologram that just displays in 3D right here in front of me. Because in a couple of years, that's the kind of stuff that we'll be able to do. We won't, we'll want to go to the museum because you just want to smell and touch and feel to the extent that you can. But you're right, it's all going virtual. Your world is going virtual. All of our worlds are going virtual. I think some good is going to come out of this whole thing. Toby, anything else to add? Because we got to scoot along.
Sure. No, I would just say go to our website, which is michigan.gov/MHC stories to learn more about the project and find the link to submit your stories.
Thank you very much. Let's keep in touch. Great job today. And, not everybody can pull the Zoom thing off and have it look so good. You did a good job. You got that all worked out really nice.
Why, thank you.
All right. Toby Voigt joining us from the Michigan History Center. We really appreciate her checking in.